He almost tasted that. Num 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 num, eat it up. Go play okay, 3, 2, 1. You know I'm the hottest. You ain't never gotta heat me up.
Oh, you are way more fun than my last lawyer.
I will kill for you, Megan Thee Stallion.
Dial it back.
Body yaddy 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 yaddy.
Fantastic. Live from New York.
It's Thursday night.
Right. And you know what Thursday night is? So it's She-Hulk night. Here today with Roy. I feel like I just saw you.
I mean, you did just see me because we just did this last night.
Right. Like, this is how my day's running into each
I mean,
other.
look, I feel you the same way. If I didn't know I had to do senior game night tomorrow and I was gonna be at work until like 10 o'clock, I wouldn't know what day of the week it was.
Okay, so tomorrow, but wait, do I see you? I do see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that should be fun.
I'll be fucking loopy as shit tomorrow.
Okay, we'll figure that out. But this is the fun day though.
It is the fun day, and this was a fun episode.
It was a fun episode, Shulky.
I was that did make me laugh when they said that.
It did. Me as well. But I will say this though. It the end of the episode kind of had my ears stand up, perk up. So I guess I wanted to talk about that first because I technically just finished the episode.
Oh.
Just go ahead and confess right there. Because when you said it, I was like, because you said in the chat, I was like, what are you talking about, Shulk? I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And I actually
never heard that before?
No.
Oh, that's her nickname going back to the 80s.
Okay, amazing.
So
that's a good callback to the show, though. So I gotta give the writers.
I mean, this episode has some deep cuts.
Oh yeah,
like Mr. Immortal. What?
Yes, this is the deepest cut episode. Yes, this was a super deep cut. But yeah, the end of the episode, would you say this is the first episode that kind of had an ominous ending?
Yeah, I mean, it did. It's clearly moving towards. I mean, we only have
because this was what 6
more episodes.
We have four or
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Just looked this up. It's the end of October, so I think it's
because IMDb said 9.
Right.
Okay.
All right. We'll go with 9. So that means there's 3 more episodes. So it's like the middle of October, not November. Oh my God.
Right.
That this ends, and we get at least one Daredevil episode, which could be next week. Could be the week after.
Because that would kind of line up with the way this episode ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like something super ominous and deep like that. Because it was like, okay, it was funny because the episode started with the attack, right? Just for them to end it this way. So I will say this: the guy, the creepy guy who went on a date with her, whose lawyer, who's part of who's contracted the firm to be his lawyer, I don't think he's part of that. He's part of the crew anymore. Well, I don't think he's mixed up in that.
I think he is.
You still think so?
I think he is because I mean we haven't really I don't think they're going to introduce a new character. So I think the other option is the boy she meets in this is evil.
Oh, that makes more sense. Actually, if we're being honest, that actually to me makes more sense because I kind of don't want it to be that because this episode had I felt really sorry for her in a way.
Well, she's getting more comfortable with being She-Hulk.
Yes, that she is. Literally the first thing she does when she gets to the wedding is step in She-Hulk. She's like, you know what? But then it's like, no, we want just Jen, and then her friend, yeah, super cool friend, who just wanted to show off her life. No, when Jonathan came in, I was like, nah, I'm fine, hands. I'm gonna be She-Hulk this entire wedding. You're not if that was me, but it's not me. It's Jen. Walters.
Well, she did get in a fight with a supervillain at the wedding, so
right, she did. But at that point, everybody was super lit. Because even her friend who didn't want her to show up as She-Hulk was all like, She-Hulk is at my wedding. I'm so lit. Like at that point in the wedding, you would expect everybody to be super lit, right?
I mean, yeah, that's usually how it is at weddings. Usually the bride and the groom are not that drunk though, because the adrenaline, like that was my experience. Like my wife was not drunk at all. And then it didn't hit me until
the next day.
Until we were at the after party. Like we went to the bar. So we had the facilities until midnight, 1 o'clock, and then we went to a bar until 3. And then it was at like 2:30. That was when I was like, oh, okay. Now
I forgot how to walk at 2:30.
Yeah, not quite that bad, but it was
okay.
But I did feel it the next day.
Okay. Did you hit Jen Walters' levels of Liddy?
Not at my own wedding. No. At other people's weddings, I have definitely gotten that drunk. Not in my 30s, thank you. Well, actually,
yeah, you're not supposed to do that at your wedding, obviously.
I mean, you can do what you want at your wedding, but
really?
It's just really hard. That like adrenaline is going. Like it's like
you still have to thank everyone for coming. You still have to be like a host.
Well, there's like two phases of weddings. Particularly, this is what I've noticed. Right, there's the like adults, aka like the old people. So that includes even if you're at a wedding that's like 30, 40-year-olds are getting married. It's like their parents, their grandparents, their aunts, their uncles. When they leave, that's phase 2 of the wedding.
Oh,
that's what anybody who's
that's when the wedding starts. Like, all the young folks, and all the people who
and that young folks can range from like 50 to 13. Like, it's just whoever's there to like have a hard time on somebody else's dime. Like that was the single greatest faux pas of all time. Is a cash bar at a wedding.
No.
And when she had that, I was like, this is the worst wedding you could possibly go to. Well, no, excuse me. A wedding with no alcohol. That's the worst wedding.
Oh, a dry wedding, is the worst wedding. I would rather pay money.
I would too. I'd bring my own bar to a wedding. Like, as someone who's not religious, like, a dry wedding.
Yeah, I've literally left me and my friends. We drove to the store, came back with a couple. Yeah, very lit by the end of the night. And then everyone is like, huh? It was under the table the entire time.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Our table was the cool table.
Yes, your table was the cool table.
Yeah. I was like, what's going on there? Yeah, we're parsing out drinks.
I mean, what's the point of a wedding if you can't get like a younger cousin drunk for the first time? Like what? As someone who's both the younger cousin and has been at family weddings where I may or may not have been responsible for that. See, as I drink.
Oh my goodness. That's super irresponsible. We do not condone that.
No, we do not. Bad. But this was like kind of the wedding from hell, which it had all the wedding tropes, which was fun.
It did. It had the when Titania came into the wedding, I was like, yeah, there's definitely gonna be a fight. Like they're not, Jen, it was like, what's the name of that movie? Like that 90s movie, like Ugly Dresses, something where the bridesmaid is like just like bullied. I forget it. I don't know. Was it Julia? No, it's not Julia Roberts. But it's this wedding movie I saw where the bridesmaid was just getting bullied. But it was funny though. No, when she's like, oh, Jonathan is gonna be Jonathan is probably gonna in my head, Jonathan was gonna be like this nerdy looking super black. No, I did not expect.
I either thought he was gonna be a nerdy thing or like super hot. Like he was either gonna be one of those two things. Where like
super hot was also something that crossed my mind. You know what would have been crazy though? If he was like a child. If Jonathan was a child. I think that's still acceptable, right? Versus what we got as Jonathan.
Dog.
I was offended for Jen.
I was also.
I was mad for her. Like, no, you got to get her back. And then when she finally does kind of get her back, she's too lit to even like realize. Like, I was like, this isn't fun. I wanted her to like.
I thought the fight with Titania was fun though. Particularly,
the fight was fun. I'm just saying,
the CG was good.
she didn't get her the friend back how I wanted her to get her back. I just
That's
wanted-
fair. That's fair.
No, but the fight. Okay, let's just say this. This was daytime She-Hulk, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the second daytime She-Hulk because the first time we seen daytime She-Hulk was when she was walking out of the Blonsky's
Oh yeah, I was about to say his funeral.
was it her trial?
Yeah.
It was one of those. This is the best looking She-Hulk I've seen. Well,
It's definitely the best looking She-Hulk since the pilot.
yeah, Twerk She-Hulk looked good. Red dress She-Hulk.
I think she actually looked better in this episode
Yeah.
than she did, but I think it's because there was so little She-Hulk in this episode.
Yes, it was very little She-Hulk in this episode, and I liked it that it was done that way. Well, it gives them a lot less to work on and just more because whenever we see her, and it's looking like we're never going to see her in that suit moving forward again, which we're going to see.
We haven't seen her in her new work suit yet. She got
Great.
because her best friend even mentions it, right? Like you don't need this.
You don't need your work suit to go to a wedding,
right?
But that is very Jennifer Walters. Well, that
is
that we're getting. She will wear her suit everywhere, and I'm glad her friend talked out of it. So we know she has a power suit.
Yeah,
super suit.
I love that they did a whole episode about her suit in the middle of the season, but she's still not going to get her superhero suit until like the second to last episode. It's like Marvel.
It's the Marvel thing. Like we talked about it, but don't worry, it's here, it's ready. We're gonna get it later on. But I like that. Outside of the what's the let's talk about Mr. Immortal. Or talking about Mr. Immortal, we could talk about the Mallory. Who was very
good in this episode.
Really good in this episode. I mean, she's been good the couple times I've seen her, but this was like really good. I kind of like Mallory and her friend's dynamic working together.
Yeah, they were great. There was a fun little side plot, I think. Yeah. And the Mr. Immortal stuff was pretty funny.
Oh, it was fucking hilarious. Marrying people, dipping the exact same way. It's incredible. Only reason why he got caught was because someone saw it on some site
on Reddit, which called Intelligentsia. All right, which is, I mean, that's the I don't know, the what I'm trying to say, the elephant in the room of this episode is that Reddit is the villain. Like that
was very on brand. that was very on brand.
It was amazing.
It's nothing but trolls. Nah, the She-Hulk stuff was very like even I know it's a TV show, right? But I'm watching it like this is still kind of concerning. It's hard to watch because I've kind of not. I'm not on Reddit super hard enough to see them go because I know there's like pages dedicated to AOC because the reason I mentioned AOC is because of this stuff you shared. But like I know there's pages dedicated to like AOC and getting rid of her, right? I know that happens, so I'm pretty sure that's what it would look like.
Yeah. It was, I mean, it's like so on point though. There are posts on YouTube and Reddit that are exactly like those posts.
Yeah. And I wonder how the real world is gonna take it.
Oh, people are upset. And also people are also number one. Mo, what's the number one thing people are upset about this episode?
So it's not Reddit.
On Reddit, YouTube, everywhere. I'll say it's an absence. If you want a hint, a lifeline.
No men.
No Daredevil. Because last week we got the tease, Mo. So why is Matt not in this episode?
I want to punch someone because what? Like, and it's funny that that's something people are mad at because if we look at the way the show has worked, right? Something happens one So we get a tease about it. It never is the thing, right? It's never the next episode. It's always one. They do that to keep you coming back. You should find out.
I don't even think we're getting Matt next episode.
I don't think so.
We might get him at the end, but I don't. I think we're going to continue this boy, and I think there's a little bit more Titania left over.
Yeah, and I think we're going to deal with the needle. We saw that was, first of all, that's a giant needle. Okay.
Well, I mean, it needs a. I mean, they tried to stab her once, so
yeah. So we're definitely going to deal with the needle. We're going to deal with all of that, right? Before we get to, we might be getting Red Hulk from the show.
We could, yeah. We could be getting Red Hulk or Yellow Hulk, or I don't know how many Hulks there are. I don't know. Red She-Hulk, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, we might be getting a lot from the show, I think. I think it's one of those. Because if her blood is, what was it? What did he say? He said her blood was in the first episode, your blood is different. It's special or something.
Yeah, because he healed him.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to get some variation of a Hulk that is insane from this episode. Because there's no, right now, there's nothing, there hasn't been any Hulk, anything discussed in the MCU, right? Like origin or blood, anything, experimentation with the Hulk, right? Because we haven't gotten a Hulk movie.
No, this is the most Hulk mythos we've gotten since.
Yeah, so I think this is where we get that from. You know, if we're gonna deal with her blood, it's gonna fall out, and we get Planet Hulk or Hulk. Something.
We could also get the leader.
Yes, that too. That
because he's going to be the villain in Cap 4 in 2 years, end of next year.
Yeah, so it could all start from here. This episode, while it was pretty jovial and really chill, it opened up a lot.
Yeah.
It opened up a lot.
As much as they joked about it at the beginning being a filler, like self-contained wedding episode, it really did like keep the plates moving in a fun way. Like I think Jen's character made real advancements of sort of caring about being She-Hulk. The Titania plot continued. And then there was, of course, the big thing, Reddit's the villain, which is, again, I just got to double back to that. Is like,
oh God, you were so excited.
I was excited because I feel like, I don't know, Mo. I mean, I felt like this morning
in real life
about Andor, but like, I just feel like we're the only people who like She-Hulk. Like, yeah. And
I'm starting to feel that way too. Like, it's wow.
Yeah. And I appreciated that they are just taking the toxic people like head on in this show.
They're taking them on. They're not afraid of them. They're not. Yeah, we know you're out there. We know what you're saying, and at some point we're gonna play with it. We're gonna show you. We're gonna show you yourselves. So with that episode where they did the Twitter trolls and now Reddit, they did YouTube, Reddit, and in a couple
and Tinder, yeah.
And Tinder. Like, no, they really attacked. And very subtle, not too in your face. I mean, the Twitter and YouTube one was very in your face. Yep. Maybe Tinder was in your face as well, but like the Reddit,
it was a little bit less like as a send up. It was more like, oh, she's using Twitter. But I think that like when you think about like what happened with her experience in Tinder, it is definitely making fun of how Tinder works.
Yes, that one for a fact. So yeah, those are the takeaways. I mean, the biggest takeaway from this episode is, I think you're right, is Jen is getting so much more used to being the She-Hulk, and she's accepting it, and she's having fun with it. I mean, when she was like, okay, when she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to this wedding and I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna show out. She was just pretty much telling everyone that, yeah, I'm about to turn up.
Yeah, and well, I mean, she literally says that like her life is actually in a good place.
Yeah, and so she sends that balance of her situation, which is, I think, amazing. You know, wait, so Reddit isn't mad at Andor for being, you know,
like everyone loves Andor. Some people have said it's like too slow, but like mostly it's been like
not mad at Andor for being FTP. And that's the most blatant. Like, what? You know what? You know what? It's not. If I bet you, if Andor had a female lead, you know what? Let's keep it moving.
Let's
She-Hulk.
keep it moving to She-Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, people want Dark Star Wars, which we talked about yesterday. So they got Dark Star Wars.
You drunk?
All right, drunk. Awesome. Glad to know that you watched it and it was amazing.
Right. Told you it was amazing. So are we missing anything else?
I don't think so.
I mean, it was a very same episode. Ooh, how do you think she's gonna react next week? Because her friend, against the wishes of Mallory,
their coworker told her. I mean, what did you expect was gonna happen, right? Like,
it just jumps on her. Like,
I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering like what plot specifically is gonna bring Daredevil in. So, and I know we get more Abomination. So
yes, we do. It was what was it? It was like kind of a therapy thing.
Group is what was in one of the trailers, and so I wonder, like, are we going to get another episode of Titania where they finish their rivalry, or are we going to jump to Abomination, or is there going to be something that sets up Daredevil coming? Like, I really don't know what's going to happen in the next.
Do they make up?
I mean, maybe. I mean, like, they
do. I have a feeling it's gonna be like boss bitches. Like it's gonna be something boss bitches shouldn't fight each other. I
mean, I wouldn't put it past them doing that. No, I mean, I'm sorry. When she fell and she said my veneers, that was like,
I died.
That was good.
Because what? Yeah, that was funny.
Also, her like just brutalizing that waiter was also very funny.
No, it was Jen saying to Titania's double.
That was pretty good.
She sucker punched me. Of course, she's a super villain. What do you think?
She's the most low rent super villain of all time. Right. I mean, we haven't really talked about like Mr. Immortal. I think really. I mean. Like also like how he got hit by 4 different cars and
like it. You know what? I don't want to. It's funny, but I imagine in my head it was one going one way, the other coming the other way. It just kept bouncing back and forth.
I also love that his husband got him a $10,000.
First of all,
he built a pyramid for him. Oh my god, that was very funny.
That was ridiculous. No, I think, and then he has a son. So like,
yeah,
it's his son, right? It's his son. Meta. They're not Meta in the MCU.
What do they call him? Enhanced in the MCU.
Enhanced, yes.
Well, we're getting Frogman at some point in this. So is that gonna show up? So are the Wrecking Crew gonna come back?
We have 4 episodes. Okay, if we're 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have either 4 or 3 episodes.
There's a lot to accomplish.
Yeah, they have to start wrapping things up.
Because I mean, what we know from stuff that was in the trailers we haven't seen is obviously Daredevil, the Abomination therapy scene, and Frogman.
Yeah, maybe that's the last 3.
Maybe that's the last 3, yeah.
Or maybe 2 are going to be in 1 because if there's going to be a big fight at the end, right?
Yeah, I mean, now they've introduced this whole plot that is not in the trailers of like wanting her blood. So, excuse me.
We should have seen that coming as soon as Bruce said, "Your blood can't be it can't be out there." We should have seen that coming.
We should have, yeah. I didn't really see it.
Yeah, I didn't. I feel blindsided by that, and I'm kind of upset. But because it was right in our faces too. Like this show is so in your face.
I thought that they were going to do something with the blood when they tried to steal it in the.
Yeah, but at that point we figured, but I'm saying when Bruce destroyed the blood and like made it a thing to literally repeat himself, I feel like that's something we should have been like, that's weird.
So this episode, speaking of like Bruce, also reminded us that Bruce exists. So do you think Bruce is going to come back at the end? Because she called him. Actually,
don't.
Okay.
You know what? They do. IMDb has him for
9 episodes? Didn't they have him for 9?
anymore. They've reduced the episode number because he wasn't in the last.
I think, and then they also have Charlie Cox for like 6 episodes.
Yeah, that's weird. IMDb's weird. No, but they have him for. He might come back at the end, very end.
I think he could come back at the very end. Yeah.
To introduce her next adventure, because if we're passing the torch, if we're passing the guard, he's the one who's going to do it. In my mind, it's not like a Cap situation where it happened in the movie and what's his name? Sam had to build himself up to being Captain America, right? It's not like that's the only passing of the guard right now, right?
I mean, Black Widow.
She died. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying they did a whole movie about.
Oh, they did a movie of her giving her the stupid vest.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like that was like basically like, oh hey, Yelena
You're gonna be the next.
I mean, she's gonna be in Thunderbolts. So
yeah, so they've
I don't think Bruce will exit stage right in a TV show. Like, I think he's too popular.
Mhm.
Like, I think what they will do is they will introduce new characters in these shows, but I do not think you will say goodbye to like major film franchise characters on these TV shows. I could be wrong, but like,
so question then. So you think Bruce will come back in the last episode, introduce her next adventure, star in the next adventure, and then probably say goodbye in the movie? You think they'll give him?
I think he'll be in Kang Dynasty. I don't think they're going to do an Avengers movie without Bruce.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Obviously.
Right. Like, I think they might, like, at that point, like, Bruce might be a minor character and, like, there's maybe more She-Hulk in that movie. But I think, like, they're not going to, because, I mean, Hulk and Ruffalo's, like, version of Hulk is popular.
Yeah.
Right. So they're not going to, like,
yeah, he
is not going to, like, they're not going to put the equity away of, like, having him. And the actor's been willing to do these Avengers movies. So, like, I don't think
maybe he does the next 2.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to be in Secret Wars, right? Like,
obviously.
So the question is, like, who's going to be in Kang Dynasty? Is the question. So
I think Kang Dynasty is that's gonna be good though.
I think it's going to be like closer to Infinity War. I think they're actually in many ways going to be opposite. Actually,
you think Kang is going to win?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because something has to start the Secret War.
No, Kang can't win.
He can win temporarily, just like Thanos did. Like they have to go to Battle World, right? There has to be a reason they go to Battle World.
They do. I know. I just don't want Kang to win. I've never like Kang is not one of the. Never check it. So, yeah.
Kang for me is a villain who's good in small doses.
Yes.
Like
because
how they've used him so far, but like
Quantumania.
Like he was kind of the villain at the end of Loki. We got one episode. He's going to be in one Ant-Man movie, and then he gets his own big thing. Cool. Right. That's awesome. The more Kang you get, he's definitely someone who outstays his welcome in my Imperial. Like,
the
more Kang you get.
Same.
But
so, She-Hulk, episode 6, just in. How'd you feel about it?
B. Maybe B- if I was like...
being petty. Because I don't see a B-. I think it's a B. It's solid. It's again, and they tell you what this is the episode that tells you what it's going to be. Doesn't shy away from saying we're going to be a very self-contained wedding episode. What we've known from She-Hulk is there's an A plot and a B plot. Both are independent of each other.
Yeah, they didn't intersect at all. Usually they intersect like a little bit at the end.
Right, but they're also very independent of each other. Like both things can happen independently until they intersect. I mean, they did intersect. If you look at Reddit and her friend calling her,
that's fair. That is true.
But in actual terms, it doesn't touch. But yeah, like I give it a B. I think anything less is petty. It's a strong episode. It's a strong self-contained episode.
Yeah.
It actually does what it needs to do, and it gets to where it needs to get to. It also sets up the it sets up probably one of the biggest She-Hulk things to happen, I think.
I mean,
And
it's a regular ass episode of serialized television, right? Like there's not high highs and there's not low lows. It's just like some character work, a B plot, and we're done.
yeah, and that was it.
Yeah,
It felt
very
short
well
too.
executed.
It felt short.
It felt a little like, actually, it felt to me to be the perfect length, because I think if anything, nothing overstayed its welcome in this episode.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I say it felt short, it's not a critique. It's more so like it was quick. That's what
fair.
it was very quick.
That's fair. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it did everything it needed to do in time. Like, because I imagine this cutting room footage of the Titania thing going on, and then that would have been too long if it went on. The Mr. Immortal stuff did its thing, and it's in a lot of time. I also like, imagine if they showed us her friend coming through with her plan, right? That would have been too much. We just cut to her executing.
Yep.
Yeah, that was perfect. So yeah,
no, I agree.
I enjoyed it. So thank you very much, Roy.
Always.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget, smash that like and subscribe button, and also share with your friends. We'll catch you next Thursday
on Intelligentsia.
I'm gonna go look for it. I'll catch you next Thursday on another episode of She-Hulk. Don't forget to come by tomorrow when we talk the Rings of Power from Jeff Bezos, who still hasn't sent me my charger. That, like, listen, if my charger doesn't come with the Rings of Power wrapped around it, I'm returning it. See you next week.
You almost tasted that. Num, eat it up. Go play okay, 3, 2, 1. You know I'm the hottest. You ain't never gotta heat me up.
Oh, you are way more fun than my last lawyer.
I will kill for you, Megan Thee Stallion.
Dial it back.
Body,